It was a time of incredible creativity, of new ideas, of experimentation and imagination and fun and laughter among and against all sorts of big changes of a more sort of serious nature. The Restless Republic is about the period of time in the middle of the 17th century when England and the rest of the British Isles were a republic. So it's about the period which is often skipped over when we didn't have a monarchy and we tried a whole other way of arranging things politically and nationally. Well, the world in many ways was unrecognisable. There'd been a king, there was no king, that was completely gone. There'd been a sense that power was passed down by hereditary right through generations of a dynasty. That was no longer the case. There was a new concept that the people, as represented by MPs in the House of Commons, were the source of all power. Churches changed completely, gone were the candles on the altar, gone were the crucifixes, gone was any kind of incense, stained glass, organs. Suddenly they were plain, bare spaces where you just heard the word of God. And was a standing army for the first time. So whereas in the past you'd gone about your business in the town that you lived in, never seeing a soldier, or there was no police force or anything like that. And suddenly there was a military presence, not only making sure that you were behaving yourself, but that you were behaving in a way that was consistent with the morals of this new republic. Any one of those things happening to us now in a much more, modern, progressive, enlightened age would seem potentially extraordinary to have this kind of sudden shift. And then yet here we are in a very traditional society in mid-17th century Britain, and all of these things are happening, and they all happened within the course of about 6 weeks. So it was startling. But at the same time, people still got up in the morning, they still had to feed their chickens, they still had to cut their crops, they still had to marry their daughters. So it's fascinating to see how, for a whole nation, against this backdrop of extraordinary change, the kind of routine of life has to go on, and what a powerful force that is. I hope that when people read it, they come away feeling that the interesting question isn't who was right and who was wrong about the right way to organise society or what sort of religion there should be, but to come away understanding why people acted in the way that they did and having a sense of empathy with all different sides of this time of great turmoil. Understanding why the people who executed Charles I did so and why they thought it was the right thing to do. Understanding why those who were bitterly opposed to change were, and that it wasn't that they were monsters, but that their understanding of the world and what they thought was the right thing to do was different. Because I just think so much of making sense of the past is about understanding people's motives, and when you get away from the idea of it being some kind of reckoning of the rights and wrongs, and you get into understanding about choices and decisions that people make, I just think it makes a much better understanding of humanity.